All right, Happy New Year, everybody. I can't even
Happy
talk.
New Year.
Uh, Hillary and I are back after the holiday season. She just got back from a big cross country trip.
We
Um,
did. It
and how was
wasn't really a big trip, but we did drive out to Lincoln County. There's an area called the Ross Creek, like Cedar area, I think. I don't know, but we drove out there. We did cross country skiing. It's super pretty. So that was very fun. It was fun to drive through good old Libby. We drove through some of Troy. We were driving all day. So, uh, yeah, it was fun though. It was really nice weather.
so you had before we got on the air, she was talking about it, and you were in Idaho in Sandpoint. So how far is it from Sandpoint to wherever you went skiing?
Like an hour, about maybe an hour and a half. But yeah, we stayed there last night just because it sounded fun to have a mini vacation. And so this morning we got up and drove an hour and a half. And we we get confused. I forgot there's a time change in Idaho.
That's right.
Completely forgot about that. But anyway, yeah, it was pretty close, just a little bit out of the way. But then we got to go out and have dinner last night and kind of walk around the town. And we had a really cool Airbnb with a pretty view of the lake. So it was like a mini vacation. And then on our drive home, we stopped and did a cross country ski thing. And then we just got home. And
And how
Montana
were the roads?
Point is beautiful. It is really pretty. It was fun. That was my first time there. So
And how were the roads?
the roads were totally fine, actually. It was not bad at all. And it's funny, it looks like we missed a total bluebird sunny day yesterday. Just being on the internet, it looked like everybody in Whitefish was skiing because it was so pretty. And then, of course, today it was overcast again, but that's okay.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we've been gone for like 3 weeks now. We have not had one of these, or if not more, 4 weeks. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a
Um, but in between that time, we had the big storm. We had the bitter cold. I did a video on the storm, so if you guys haven't seen that,
it was so
interesting.
cold.
It was, yeah. We got some good footage of. We had to actually go up for a listing appointment up in Coram, um, which is, I don't know, 20 minutes away from where we live, and it was pretty bad that day. Like the snow was blowing across the road, and visibility was not good when trucks would go by, uh, and then the next day, the weather cleared out, and it was 42 below zero.
And I would just like to say that when we were at that listing appointment, I fell in the snow and I still have a bruise. And Will thought it was hilarious and was like, I can't believe I didn't have my camera rolling. But I was in a great deal of pain and I'm still very bruised.
I know, and she's going to hold that against me forever because I do feel bad, believe it or not. At the time, it was funny because when she got up, she was kind of laughing and said it was no big deal, but she was just saying that because the people were standing there.
An embarrassment.
And then I had to get pictures texted for the next week of the giant black and blue leg she had going in the scab on it.
Yes.
So, maybe you could put those pictures up for all of your fans to look at?
No, but it was like alarming. It looked pretty gross. So yeah, we were just out in the treacherous weather.
Yeah, we got a bunch of people here already. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, everyone. Hello from the South. Hello from Ohio, North Carolina. Maria's here. Hey, Maria. This is Maria. They bought a place down in the Swan Valley, and I think this was the first time they got to experience the bitter, bitter cold, because I think last winter we didn't have any days like that. So They came up here from Arizona, so that was a bit of a shock to their system, I'm sure.
Oh boy. Yes, it was very, very cold.
Yeah, Maria saying minus 36. Yeah, that wasn't exactly Tucson weather, was it, Maria? Let's see. I think there's a question here.
Here's one that I will throw up. What is... Oh, I'm not able to throw it up. Sorry, but... Oh, Terry
Is
asked...
that the one?
There was one above it about the cost of living, but we can start here and jump back. I'm interested in Hungry Horse. How often do the residents get snowed in, or for how long?
I don't know what you mean by snowed in. When I made that video last week, I wanted to show you guys that even in those bad storms with the wind and the snow and the whiteout conditions and bitter cold weather, everybody just kind of goes along like it's just another day.
It is what it is.
So I don't remember anyone getting snowed in ever. There's been days where we've had to, you get some help if you're in a long driveway situation or up in the mountains getting plowed out. But yeah, I mean, that's just part of living in Montana. That's what you do. That's what you sign up for.
Yeah, I agree. I think we get a lot of questions about what it's like driving here. And I mean, for the most part, the roads are, I mean, it's icy and there's snow, but I mean, it just is what it is. And everybody manages to make it around.
Yep. Are you able to access the questions yet or no?
I am not. But there's one too above that says, what is the cost of living in Montana compared to other states?
It's, there's such a wide variety of other states. It depends what you're comparing it to. I would say nationally, we're in the middle. And again, there's 100 things that go into that. If you're looking at home prices, we're on the high side on the west side of Montana. But on the east side of Montana, they're probably on the lower side compared to other states. As far as, gas prices, what is it right now? Like just under, isn't it just under?
It's under 4.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
I mean, everything is so relative. It's like, yeah, I don't know. We're probably somewhere in the middle. And then it also depends on where you are in Montana.
Yep. Let's see. This one's for you, Hillary.
Are you originally from Montana? No, neither of us are, actually. Will has been here for like 20 plus years. I've been here for about 6.
Yes, my wife that you see at the end of our videos that refuses to do these lives with us. She was actually one of the few people actually born and raised in Whitefish. She was born at the old hospital that doesn't even exist anymore. So yeah, but we moved here when our daughter was born, and I've been in Montana it was my second tour in Montana. I was here for 2 years back in the 90s, and then we moved back in like 2001, and I've been here ever since. So yes, technically I'm still not a local after all those years, but I've been here long enough to know the ropes. Let's see. Oops. Which part of the state has better farmland? I would say as a whole, it'd be the east side of Montana. We have an area in the Flathead Valley that's good farmland. They get crest and topsoil out of there. So it's very good, farming, but it's not huge. Over on the east side, there's some huge ranches and farms that they grow wheat over there, and it's obviously good farmland for that. So look at this, we're getting a bunch of questions.
I know, and today I'm for some reason not able to throw them up, so you guys have to wait for Will to look through them.
Technical difficulties.
Minnesota. We are from Minnesota and would like to buy and build near the mountains. Is the price of land way up?
It's definitely higher. If you want, let me change this. Can you do anything, Hillary, on your end?
I cannot.
Or is it all me?
It's all you. I don't know why I can't do it today.
People are not going to be. So back to the question now. If you want prices, send us an email to our email address that I just put up at the bottom, and I can send you a link, or we will send you a link to our MLS site so you can see it. And it just, I would like to throw out some prices, Timothy, but there's 100 variables again that go into that, depending on where you are, how close to town, how close to water, on and on. But if you're anywhere on the west side of Montana, you will be near the mountains or in the mountains. So hopefully that'll help you out. What is the average down payments you're seeing for Kalispell? That depends on the loan. Normally it's 5 to 20%. There's even loans that are as low as 3%. It just depends on what the loan requires. If it was a cash deal, for example, there's no rule on down payment or earnest money. It's just whatever you want to do to make your offer look better. So, Rich, $294. Yeah, we had misspoke. It was under $3, not under $4.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Let's see. I'm in Missouri looking to move to Butte in like 4 to 5 months. What does the housing situation look like now that COVID is over? Are there many homes on the market? You know what? We're still pretty short on inventory. But with that being said, there's still plenty of houses available. Again, if you want to see what is available, send us an email to the address we have below, and we can send that link, and you can check it out, and we'd be happy to help you out.
And part of the reason inventory seems so low right now is because of winter. And so a lot of people take their homes off the market so they don't have to deal with people coming in and looking during the holidays and, falling in the snow and hurting their leg, that kind of thing. So we'll see more come up as it gets warmer.
Hello, Chrissy. Montana is her favorite state she's lived in. I'll let you take this one, Hillary.
This is more of a warm weather question, but considering the state's mountain lions and bears, how safe is solo trail running in Western Montana? This is a good question. I think it depends on where you go. I don't know. I mean, I get kind of scared to hike by myself. If I'm just on like the Whitefish trails and I feel like I'm kind of in town, and that doesn't freak me out as much. But it also depends on the time of year. I remember going on a trail run over by Lion Mountain in Whitefish and running into just seeing like a huge pile of bear. Do they call it scat? What do they call bear? I don't know.
Bear poop?
Yes.
Yes, it would be scat.
And that for some reason just freaked me out. It was like late in the afternoon and I was like, nope, I'm done. So I don't know. I just think it depends on how brave you are. Always carry bear spray no matter what. But I know that people definitely solo hike and trail run and all of that.
Yeah, well, we
You know?
sold, if they're on, hello, but the very first house I sold to people that found us on YouTube, she is a big trail runner, and I have not heard of her having any problems. Everyone carries bear spray, and so
I feel
we
like
have.
usually the trails, like the running, again, I'm talking about like the whitefish trails, but it seems like where people are trail running, there's usually more people on those trails, and so they're not as scary. I mean, I don't know. If you get out like in the park on some of these trails that nobody's on, then I would get a little freaked out. But
Yes, you do not want to run around a corner and see a bear standing there. They do not like to be surprised.
well,
So
and that's happened to my fiance. He wasn't trail running, but he was mountain biking, and I don't do that at all. So he'll go do that by himself, and he's done that, like turn the corner, and there's a bear right there, and he just ran away. But I don't know. I think you're good. You just have to be aware and carry your bear spray.
yeah, well, there was a dude that got killed a few years ago like that. So your fiance should maybe rethink those
I
bike
know.
rides.
I don't get mountain biking. I'm too scared. That's like the one thing I'm not into.
All right.
In the Kalispell Whitefish area, are you able to receive over-the-air television stations like ABC, CBS, etc.? If so, what city do they broadcast from, or does everyone have satellite or cable?
Go ahead.
You are able, because I'm trying to think. I had cable for a little bit and I don't anymore, and we still get over-air television stations. I don't know. I never watch them. I don't know what city they're broadcasting from. Do you, Will?
Well, yeah, Kalispell has an NBC affiliate and CBS, I believe. NBC for sure, but most people have satellite or cable. I don't know anybody that uses the antennas anymore. But that's not to say you can't get a couple channels. I'm guessing it's not many. But I think
I'm trying to think of what always comes on my TV when we turn it on, because we don't even have cable. We just use like Hulu and Netflix and all that. And it's like there's a show about dogs that's always on, Lucky Dog. And then there's a show called Fail Army that's always on, and it's just videos of like people falling off stuff. So I don't know. I don't watch that much TV.
Hello, Nancy. Must be nice down in Mississippi right now.
Yes, nice and toasty.
Let's see. Tina cannot wait to get back. Here's somebody from Butte. The housing situation is getting better.
I would agree. We're seeing more and more come on the market. Prices are evening out. It's all going in the right direction. Is there greater interest in Montana because of that television series that is popular now? Yes, 100%.
Here, this question actually piggybacks that one perfectly that you can go on about.
Has your Yellowstone appearance made you town celebrities and gotten you private priority seating in restaurants? No. And honestly, I don't know why it hasn't. That's kind of what I was counting on. And here we are.
Yeah, well, I don't know, we talked about it in depth a month or two ago after we got back, but we spent 5 days down there filming for 3 seconds of TV time. And so if you didn't know where to look and where to pause the show, you would have never seen us.
Yeah, that is definitely true. But yes, people are absolutely coming to Montana because of Yellowstone.
When is the best time to look for homes in Montana? Me and my wife are looking to move to the Kalispell area. Anytime. I mean, right now that the interest rates have gone up and there's a few more homes on the market than there were a year or two ago, I would say now we're starting to get more again because of the first of the year. People start putting their houses on the market again, and we'll get another big, like, bunch of houses that come on the market once April comes around, April, May, for the summer season. So if you're looking to beat the crowds and other people in the competition, now is a great time. If you want more choices, then wait till spring. So we got a couple more hellos from people.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello.
Oh, here's a comment on the trail running. And here's a comment of where you just were. I'll let you take this one.
Is Libby and Troy, are Libby and Troy too far out of civilization? I mean, it just depends on what you want. Some people would say, for sure, yes, I would never live there. And other people love it, and that's what they're looking for. I will say that Troy definitely feels a bit farther removed from civilization than Libby does. Libby's got like, the little downtown with restaurants and a brewery and, like a movie theater. I mean, there's stuff going on. Troy definitely starts to feel like you're a little bit more out there, but they're beautiful areas. And I mean, a lot of people love them, and that's exactly what they want. So it just depends on what you're looking for. We always recommend that people come out here and do a drive. Because I don't know how many times we've had people come saying that they're interested in Troy and that's like what they're excited about. And then they drive out there and it's like, oh, never mind. Just because it's a little bit too far. So just depends. Too far for some, not for others.
Yep. All right. Here's a question about utility prices. Do you pay your bills or would that be your fiance? Do you know the answer to this?
Fiance.
Okay, then I guess that's up to me. We pay, let's see, we have a bigger house.
I was going to say, my house is also tiny. We have one bathroom and essentially one bedroom. I mean, two technically, but my house is really little.
Yeah. They're not, the prices aren't horrible. We don't have, well, we have gas, but it's only for our furnace. So obviously in the summertime, our gas bill is nothing. But in the winter, we probably, it's not bad, like maybe $200. It just depends on how cold it is that particular month. Electricity, same thing, 150 maybe a month. It's not horrible. Let's see. Sherry wants to move back to Montana. Timothy, if we are looking for 100 to 150 acre ranch land with a log home, is that in the does my laughing answer that? That will not work in our part of the state. Maybe in the east side, but 150 acres, that is a lot of money over here now. And again, I'm not going to throw out a number, but it's way more than 600,000 just for the land. And again, there's just, the size of the log home and all of that. But in the west side of Montana, there's no way you're going to find that for that price. You're going to have to look on the east side. Let's see. What are the crime statistics in Montana overall? Which cities have more crime than others? Well, this is a good question for Hillary, since her future husband is a lawyer and defends all these criminals.
Alleged criminals.
He's a public defender. That's why I'm making this joke.
I don't have any statistics that I can pull out. I'm not under the impression that there is much crime. I would say in Whitefish, there's like essentially no crime, no violent crime. I guess when you get into Kalispell, there may be areas with a little bit more just because there are more people But I mean, I don't really think of crime as being a problem here. I don't know. I guess I would Google the statistics because I don't know them, but
Yeah, it depends where you're coming from. A lot of people will see that, oh, Montana has high crime. Well, not compared to many big cities.
yeah,
It
I
may be high crime in Montana, but when you compare it to where a lot of people are coming from, it's very low. So, I own a house in Three Forks, Montana, but not yet a resident of Montana. Is it difficult to establish residency? That's a interesting question. I don't know the exact answer to that. I know that a lot of people, it depends what you're establishing it for, I think. That's what that comes down to. A lot of people, they'll buy a second home up here, some property up here, and then they'll register their cars up here because they own a piece of property, because you can do that to save the money on, whatever state they're living in. But I think once you own something up here, you just go down to the courthouse and, I mean, you're a resident basically. But again, I'm not sure what you're establishing it for. Billings and Butte have the crime well below average. Yeah, like we said, the crime in Montana is nothing like it is in other states.
yeah.
Rob, how are the schools in Montana, particularly as you get more rural? They seem good. We're not all that rural in our area, and I know our schools are good up here. But again, I think you can Google that and it'll have the school. There's a bunch of websites now that keep track of the testing scores and all of that. But as far as I know, they're fine. And the beauty of the rural schools is that you don't have to deal with a whole bunch of people in your classes. And, it's kind of small town Americana where you can go to school and graduate with 20 people kind of thing.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't have any kids, so I don't have any direct experience with the school systems, but I've heard nothing but good things, honestly, about all the schools. So I mean, obviously, I can't speak for all of them, but especially in our area, people love the schools here.
Yeah, Tina, you make a good point. The county I live in Florida has more population than the whole state of Montana.
Yeah.
This is true. We have 1.1 million people in the entire state, and we're the fourth biggest state in the nation. So I read something the other day that San Jose, California has more people than the whole state of Montana. So
It's crazy. So yeah, that kind of puts things into perspective for when you're talking about crime.
correct. Let's see. Any new laws with restrictions on possible Airbnbs? No, none that I've heard of. I know you'd have to check into every little town is kind of starting to come up with new rules, and different subdivisions are coming up with new rules. So you just kind of got to check. And if you want to email us, we'd be happy to look into it if you have a specific spot in mind. But I don't know of anything new on that front.
Yeah.
Deb, we like the west side of the state. Anywhere is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath under 400, a dream or a possibility? No, there's a few out there. The prices have come down a little bit, so that can be done. I've seen homes. Again, send us an email and we can send you what is available. Did you guys go through here?
We didn't. We drove kind of right past it. We were actually going to spend the night there, and then we decided, oh, Sandpoint's just a little bit further. Let's go there. And we got kind of nervous about the Airbnb where we're looking at. I didn't know if my Subaru could make it through the snow. But yeah, no. So I drove right past it, but I didn't actually stop there. But it's a pretty drive.
Heron, I went out there, God, a year ago maybe, to look at some land for a guy, and it's pretty quiet. You're kind of out there. You're close to the Idaho border.
You're very close to the border.
It's pretty over there, but there's not a lot, not a lot happening over
No,
there.
it did look very quiet. Like the sign leading to Heron, I mean, it looked like just like a hand painted sign, which I love. But no, we didn't go over there. I wish we would have, though. We will next time.
Well, and if I remember right, I drove through the, downtown Heron,
Yeah.
and I don't even know if they had a grocery store. There's nothing there. I think they had a church and a bar and maybe a gas station out on the highway. There wasn't much.
Well, then there's your grocery store.
Oh, yes, that's where Hillary gets all her food, is at the convenience store or the gas station. So, here's a question for you, Hillary.
I knew that this is what it was going to be. How's the hunting up there for elk in the Kalispell, Columbia Falls area? I don't personally hunt, but I think it's good. I mean, I've got friends that hunt and they all talk about how awesome it is. So who knows if they're telling me the truth, or I mean, I don't know, but a lot of hunters here, they seem to be happy with it, but unfortunately, I don't really know.
Yeah, there's hunting all the way up the North Fork. People go North Columbia Falls and Kalispell kind of. We've talked about this before too. It kind of stretches for 100 miles to Libby, and there's nothing out there except a bunch of animals and trees. So, yeah, the hunting is good. I know that it's kind of funny. It's like, where I grew up, everybody kept going further north to go fishing. And it's kind of like here, everybody that lives here goes other places to hunt because it's, the old saying, you never catch the fish right off your dock. You got to go to the other side of the lake. And it kind of holds true with hunting. What are the interest rates right now for second homes and Airbnb homes? I don't have the answer to that. I'm not sure. I think there's a lot. I know it depends on your credit score and all of that. And I know they're higher for second homes and Airbnbs. So if you want to email us, we have a lender we work with all the time who could give you that information and the exact rate. I have a feeling I know what it is, but I don't want to give out the wrong number. So I will keep quiet. Let's see. So Montana have a reduction in property taxes for seniors. If so, how much and what age? I believe they do. I know for sure they do for veterans. I don't know about seniors though. So another one I can't answer. We need Hillary to start answering all the questions. It sounds like I don't know anything.
He knows so much.
Here, I'll let Hillary answer this one.
Well, again, this is you answer. What big things do you have planned for the channel this year? I am just along for the ride. Will is the visionary. He is the director. He's the one that makes me appear when I need to be there. So I just follow his lead. I think that, I don't know, Will. We're going to cook up some good ideas though. And if you have any ideas or you want us to do anything, tell us and we'll do it.
Yeah, maybe I can make Hillary end up in another snowbank like I did on the Christmas video. Do you know anything about Weibo or Melstein? Well, If this
I do
answers your
not.
question, I've never heard of Melstein. Webo, I know, is on the North Dakota border, and I've been through it, but that's as much as I know. This tells you how big Montana is. From where we live to Webo is probably close to 10 and a half hours drive. So I don't get over there that often. Sorry, I can't answer the question. Maybe I'll send Hillary over there to do a video on Weibo. That'll be our new thing for the channel.
It's funny because the amount of time we spend in the car together, you would think that we would have made that drive, but I think that's where we draw the line. 10 and
We
a half
could
hours.
have had we gone straight there, but we have not.
Is this the winter that runs all the city folk back to their cities? I don't know. If there is a winter that will run people back, I feel like it would be this one because we're not used to. And maybe this happens every winter and we just forget, but gosh, we don't usually get that like -30 for like a full week. I mean, it was very, very cold. So we'll see. To be determined.
Let's see. Do you think there's a fairly good chance the Montana market would drop much more than, say, San Diego? I do not, actually. I think that, well, I shouldn't, when you say Montana market, like we were just saying, it's a huge state. In our area, I don't foresee it dropping all that much. They're not building any more mountain towns. Now that people can work remotely and we have a big airport here, unfortunately, the locals are not going to like this answer, but I don't see it dropping tons. It's definitely slowed down. It's definitely kind of plateaued right now, price-wise. The last 3 years, it's been just shooting straight up, and it's kind of toned down from that. But as far as dropping, I know that on the national news, all these guys are the doom and gloom, and, you know, we're going to have all these recessions and crashes, and I don't see that. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball, but like I said, there's still such a demand, and we don't have a huge inventory right now, so the demand is still high. We were looking at, or Hillary showed a house the other day, and, you know, there were offers on it right away. So we're not like the normal small town America where things are dropping. We're holding pretty strong here. So
yeah, I would say the drop we saw was kind of a good drop. Everybody was waiting for things to settle down a little bit because it was so crazy. But I think the people who are waiting for this next like big drop to get back to where we were are not gonna see that happen. What festivals in Montana happen in the spring?
Dwayne is one of our regulars. He's our friend from Canada.
Dwayne.
Hello, Dwayne. I will be up there. I'm going to go. This is a side note. Nobody cares, but I'm going up to a Calgary Flames hockey game in March. So I will be heading north of the border back in a couple months. But as far as festivals in the spring, I don't know of a lot of them in the spring. It's usually summer when they all start kicking in. Do you know of any?
Not in the spring. I see that somebody under him put that there's a testicle festival, and I've actually,
I don't know if
I think that's real.
Well, it used to be, but I don't know if they still have that.
Oh, I've heard about it. So I was like, wait, does that still happen?
Pretty crazy. And then there was a really bad accident, and that's why I don't know if they still have that.
But yeah, I can't think of any in the spring. Summer's when we get, you know, Under the Big Sky, which is big music festival, and that's right here in town. So it gets really busy here. There's some festivals, like there's one in the Canyon that I was going to go to last year, but again, that's all summer. So I don't know so much about spring.
Yeah. Back to the prices. Are Montana house prices in as big of a bubble as they say Idaho prices are? Idaho, they always talk about is Boise, and there is a bubble there, and they are seeing a pretty big drop. But again, if you've ever been to Boise, this is just my personal opinion, nothing against Idaho, but I just have never figured out what the draw is in Boise. It's kind of high desert, not a lot of trees around. It's kind of the brown mountains around it, just high deserty. But yeah, they're definitely in a bubble. Again, our prices skyrocketed in the past 3 years, but they're not, they've slowed down and they haven't continued the giant rise. And the price reductions that we're seeing now aren't, they're the people that were trying to win the lottery and try and get what they would have got 2 years ago. And that's not happening. So no, I guess my rambling answer is no. Here you go.
I just want to win the Powerball and move to the Flathead Lake, lakefront house in summers. Any help would be greatly appreciated. I'll do everything in my power to help you, Red Hoss.
Email Hillary. She'll give you the winning numbers.
Yeah.
But then you have to give her a cut.
Yeah.
Why do you think Bozeman took off so much as opposed to any of the other cities in Montana? Again, another good question. There's no water in Bozeman. They have the river. Over on our side of the state, we have all the lakes and I don't know. Bozeman has the college. I think the main reason Bozeman took off is because some tech companies have moved in there because of the college and because of its proximity to Big Sky and Yellowstone and all of that. That would be my thinking on why Bozeman took off. Dwayne, what NHL hockey team do you support? Hillary? You? The Nebraska who?
Oh.
No, Dwayne, I grew up in Minnesota, so I like Minnesota Wild, and that's who's playing in Calgary in March, and that's why I'm going up there. So, what else do we got? I don't like this that you're not throwing up the questions.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't.
I'm supposed to come to work in Kalispell, and I haven't even thought about the housing market. I'm just kind of making a go of it as a subcontractor. Well, I would strongly suggest you get on your housing now. I know that it's gotten a little bit better, but rentals are still tough. So you may want to get on that. And as far as finding a rental, this is the next question everybody has. Unfortunately, there's no central location to find a rental. So you have to, unfortunately, Google like Kalispell rentals, and then 10 companies will come up, and then you have to go each one of their website and see what they have listed, because they all manage a different set of properties, and they all have different sign up rules. And so yeah, it's kind of a pain, but that's the way it is. And I always say, if someone's looking to come up here and start their own company or create a job, there you go. Create a central rental website.
Central Rentals, you can call it.
There you go. Here's a Boise viewer. I live near Boise. It's too crowded. And there's that. Is living in an RV possible through the winter? RV parks open in wintertime? Yes. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But yeah, I've driven past RV parks where people live there. You have to insulate the bottom underneath real good, so your pipes don't freeze, because it definitely gets cold enough for that to happen. So, but yes, that is a thing.
Yes.
What else? Is cattle the main source of income for the state? No, I don't believe so. It's up there. Agriculture is one of the biggest things, and then it's ag and tourism basically is what the main economy is for Montana right now. But cattle specifically, I don't think so, but possibly. I do believe there's more cattle than people.
Good day. I didn't wear it today. I'll wear it next Sunday. I've been in the car all day. I've been cross country skiing, just being an athlete. So this is what you
I
got.
think that's Dane's nice way of saying, why aren't you wearing a hat?
Yeah, okay. That's so mean. No, this is a side note, but if we're talking about what I'm wearing, Angie, his wife, told me about these vests and they're heated. I used all mine, the battery's out, so I can't show you, but you press this button and it lights up red and it's like wearing an electric blanket. It's the most amazing thing ever, but obviously not as good as the hat.
Dwayne, are there any tours of the national parks in Montana? Yes, for
For
sure.
sure. Yes.
In Glacier, they have the red bus tours. I'm
They
sure
have
there's
boat
something.
tours.
The what?
They have boat tours.
Yes. I'm sure in Yellowstone they have something similar to the red bus tour, but yes, there's definitely tours. Do you foresee the area around Twin Bridges growing at all? Yes, obviously everything in Montana has been growing. Twin Bridges is still pretty small, so it's going to take some time. I mean, I know the locals are irritated, and we have gotten a lot of new people up here, but they've all kind of focused on the Bozeman's and the Whitefish and the Kalispell. There's still, again, we're the fourth biggest state. There's still tons of open land here. And there's still tons of small little towns like Twin Bridges that nobody's there. But yes, everything, it's just the nature of America right now. Everyone's trying to get out of the big cities and they want the rural living.
Indeed. So if you skip down, I think the next question is about homeowners insurance and thinking about wildfires. I don't know the average number off the top of my head to give you, but it's just an interesting question because I was just having this conversation. Our homeowners insurance just went up, and we have friends that live up in Iron Horse on Big Mountain and Whitefish, and their insurance like really went through the roof, and that's because of fires.
Yeah, and I actually, if you go back to our channel, I did a video. I have a friend that I know pretty well, and he came on and we did a whole video on wildfires and insurance, wildfire insurance, and he kind of talked about everything you need to know and what they base it on and prices and companies and all of it. So I don't remember exactly when that video was, but it was this summer. It was when the fires were happening. Is when I had him on. So it'd probably be August sometime. So it's not too far back. You should be able to find that, and that will answer all of those questions much better than I'm doing right now. There you go. Here's a heated vest fan.
I used one working in -20. See that I ordered this when we were having that week when it was like -35, and I don't think I've taken it off since I got it, to be completely honest with you.
Is there any smaller chunks of land for sale that is higher in elevation and also less expensive? Something that I would, you got cut off. Let's see. Oh, there's the rest of it. Could park my RV on from time to time. If so, what is a rough cost? Yeah, there are. And again, I'm not going to throw out any numbers. Email us and we'll send you the link and you can look at everything that's for sale because it varies so widely. It just
So
depends.
widely.
It just depends where you are, how far out of town you are, if it's off the grid. I mean, there's 100 things that goes into it. And if I was to say a price, I would get pushback because people would say, well, it's too high or too low or whatever. So
Depends on how big the small chunk is, how treed it is, if there's a view. I mean, there's just a lot.
Mary Beth knows about Yellowstone, and apparently it's called the yellow bus, not the red bus.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
I guess so. Dwayne, can I go on a boat tour from Alberta into Montana and Waterton? I don't know, Dwayne.
There.
Yes, I don't know how they deal with, passports or any of that, but I do know that there's a boat because we've talked about hiking. You can hike from where we are, well, not in Whitefish, but in the park. Bowman Lake, I've always wanted to do this hike where you hike up and over, I think it's Browns Pass, and you end up at Waterton. And then there's a boat that goes from, well, it'd be the Montana side, obviously, up to the Waterton Hotel and the little Waterton town site. So yes, I would assume you can go back and forth on that boat. What else? Looks like you have a good. Is the electric dependable? That is actually an electric candle.
Oh,
Not
plot
a
twist.
real one. Yes, the electric. It does go out from time to time, and especially if you're out in the rural areas, because a lot of it is above ground. So when we get windstorms or big snowstorms, the lines will get knocked down, and
I will say it seems, I mean, just honestly, it does seem like the power goes out in Whitefish more often than it should. It seems like we should be able to handle it, but there have definitely been days, several days at the office where it'll go down and you come home and it's down there also. And so that happens, but never lasts too long.
Yep.
It's just part of the deal.
Yeah, part of what you sign up for. What is the job market like?
In the Kalispell area, they clarify in the next one.
Oh,
sorry to cut you off.
Everybody's still looking for help. So, depending on what you want to do, if you get on, I don't even know, Craigslist isn't much of a thing anymore. I don't know how many people advertise in the paper.
Indeed is one, like Glassdoor. You can, or if you just Google jobs in Kalispell. Yeah, I would say it just depends on what you are looking to do. But there are definitely a lot of job openings. Everybody's looking for help, like Will said.
Does Big Fork have any expansion plans with shops and restaurants? Not that I know of.
Not that I know of. Not any major expansions.
No, Big Fork's kind of a tiny little downtown area, and there's really no room because of the river and the lake. It's kind of pigeonholed right in there, and that's kind of what makes it cool. So, if they are going to build, it's going to be kind of as you leave town in the open area, but in the downtown area, no. Let's see. Are there more custom new home builders available now that the housing market has cooled? It's definitely easier to get in with builders, but there's still a big demand. I play hockey with a couple guys that build houses, and they're still going to town. Again, like I said earlier, there's been so much demand in the last few years. Those guys all got backed up. Yes, when the interest rates went up, people did cancel a few of the jobs, but there's still definitely a demand, and they're still pretty busy. What happened to my fancy mountain backdrop? Well, that's in my home office. I am not in my home office right now. So that's what happened to it. Isn't there somewhat of a culture war between Eastern and Western Montana? I'm sure, yes. The people on the east side are kind of ranchers, and it's very rural and small, and I think they get a little annoyed with all the people moving over here and all the people over here. So yeah, I would definitely say yes to that. Let's see. Idaho has been on the news for the past few months. Maybe less people moved to Idaho. How fast are West Coasters moving to Montana? We're definitely getting people from the West Coast. A lot of Seattle people coming over, Oregon people.
But we're getting people from all over now. I think that kind of before COVID happened, a lot of transplants were coming from the West Coast. Now I feel like you used to be able to guess, like you're probably from California, and that was very typical. Now, I mean, we're getting people from all over.
That's right. It looks like we're getting to the end of our questions. Here's one for you, Hillary.
Why do people want to change Montana into where they left? I don't know. I don't really always think that they do. It seems like a lot of people that move here because they like it here and they want to leave where they left.
That is correct. I am hoping to camp in Big Fork for the Spartan race in May. When do tourists start to show up en masse? You know, Big Fork is kind of a 3-month town. They're not tons of people in Big Fork in May, but that's kind of the kickoff, it seems, don't you think? When they do the Spartan race, that's kind of the first big thing up here. That
yeah.
So when tourists come in mass, is probably 4th of July weekend.
That's definitely when, although it's funny because that's kind of moving back a little bit more each year, it seems. I think that for a while, yeah, it was like, okay, it's the 4th of July weekend because there's everybody in America is here. But I don't know. I remember last year, especially driving and just going to our office downtown and thinking, wow, it's pretty busy now. So I think that as we're getting more popular, we're having less defined, like super busy tourism times, and it's kind of more spread out. But yeah, I would say, I don't know, Memorial Day onward is kind of expect to see some people.
Yep. Here's a good one. As a veteran, I've researched property tax relief for veterans in Montana. You have to have 100% service-connected disability and an income below a sliding scale threshold. There you go. So that helps with my answer earlier. Let's see. Where's some riverfront property that hasn't popped off yet? Blackfoot and Bitterroot are obviously out. Any waterfront on the west side of the state is pretty expensive. We're in the process of selling a place now, kind of in between Whitefish and Eureka, that's on a river. And it wasn't horribly priced. The east side of the state, you're always going to find better prices, especially waterfront. So, again, send an email. We'll send you the link, and you can see what we're talking about.
Dwayne also asked before that if we have a lot of Canadians living here. Yes, we do.
I bought a fixer-upper home. How long do I have to wait on contractors? Well, it just depends on what type of contractors you're looking for. I know we actually know of a good handyman, right, Hillary?
We do.
So I don't know where you said if I bought. Yeah, it's not horrible anymore. It's not what it was a year or two ago. So you can definitely get stuff done. So
yeah,
it's not like it used to be. Are there still places in Montana without a speed limit? No. The federal government shut that down. They basically, it was kind of cool when I first moved here. There was no speed limit and you were allowed to drink and drive, which I thought was kind of odd. So what could go wrong? No speed limit and you could have an open container in your car. It was weird that Montana led the nation in alcohol-related fatalities.
yeah.
The federal government kind of shot that down, and they threatened to withhold federal funds if they didn't put a speed limit up. So now we have a speed limit all throughout the state, and you're not allowed to drink in your car anymore, which is obviously a good idea. Let's see. I look to move to Kalispell this year from North Carolina. I have friends that live there and come out every year. My small town here was invaded by Atlanta, Florida, Texas, and Alabama. Let's see, anything else? You can take this one, Hillary.
I mean, we definitely have grizzly bears. Depends on where you live. Being in Whitefish, I don't take bear spray with me when I go to the office. They're mostly in the park. But yeah, they're out there. We just got new trash cans actually because bears were getting into the trash cans in our alleys, and they like freeze shut now because there's like a latch, for the bears to get in, but those aren't grizzly bears. They're just black bears. But I mean, yes, we have bears. I just got a little distracted with our new trash cans because they're very hard to open.
Yeah. All right. Last question. We are over an hour. We're at the bottom, so this is good. Are foreclosures on the rise? No. That's an easy one. There's nothing, it's nothing like 2008. This is a totally different deal. Will we get a couple foreclosures? Maybe, but it's going to be nothing like it was. So, anyway, thanks everybody. And if you didn't get your question, we will be back now on a regular basis in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from now, we will be here, same time, same place. Thanks for tuning in. And be sure to send us an email if you want to link to our MLS site. And we will talk to everybody in a couple weeks. Happy New Year.
Thanks, guys. Happy New Year.